guys, it's CalamitiesDawn here, and today we're doing a tad bit of a different video. So over the last couple of weeks I have been, as you can see from the background, kind of remodeling the gaming room or studio, I guess you could call it, where I record and do the gaming videos. And this video that we're doing today is literally the process and accumulation of changing from the previous setup to the current setup. So yeah, let's just get right into that. So I'll let you see that right now. Bye! Alrighty guys, so I'm going to start doing a voiceover for what's currently going on for the entirety of this project. So from here I'm using phone recordings and just like the webcam recordings to do what's going on. So from what's going on here, it's just a quick snapshot of what the original layout of the place looked like. Nothing too major. We do see from a couple of seconds ago there was a rodent in the background. Nothing too major. But yeah, this was just what the original setup looked like. And here we are into the thick of it. So I have actually sped up a lot of the footage so that things go a lot quicker, because the actual setup of all the raw footage was like 6 hours long. Shocker. So you will find a lot of mum in a lot of the footage, and any bits of Ronan have been blurred out, as you can see. You'll occasionally just see bits of his head pop out. Reason being is because I don't really want Ronan's face being shown, just for privacy reasons is all. Yeah, so here I am just going and clearing out all of the shelves and stuff, putting all my manga and stuff into boxes, because just having it in the boxes makes it a lot easier and it just clears things out, and it's a lot easier to take it from one room to the other, because as of where everything's situated in the house, I take it from the gaming room and move it straight out to the lounge room. So we're just moving the books and everything out for the moment. And Ronan is attempting to help because he's playing with all the figures and everything over in the corner, which I have blurred out for the minute. And then I think after this I start moving games, I think. I'm not too sure. But I'm just filling boxes full of stuff. Yeah, I'm grabbing some games and stuff that I have full of things. And now I'm having to grab all those boxes. I had a lot of annoyance with these boxes actually. Later on, I actually cut a whole section out to do with these boxes because I just got really annoyed with them. I had nowhere to put them. But yeah, I actually still have nowhere for my board games actually. I have to find somewhere for them later. That's the fun part of having a rental, is because I can't put anything in the walls. The stuff that's already in the walls is fine, but I can't put anything new in the walls. What am I doing at this point? I'm grabbing more boxes, because I have things that so I have some of the Pop Funkos that I've already taken out of the boxes, and then the newer ones I haven't taken out of the box, I've left them in the box. So I'm trying to sort out which ones are in the box and not. This was a fun part to do, and I'm being highly sarcastic here. I decided I was going to put all my figures and stuff in the box. And then halfway through this, you'll see me realize that, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take them all out. For what reason, I don't know why I thought putting them all in the box was a good idea, but I did. I took them all out. And then, what do I do here? Do I put them all back in? I do. I put them all back in. Took them all out, put them all back in. And Ronan wanted to help too. Ronan was very helpful with all this, as helpful as a 2-year-old can be. But he was enjoying helping anyway. And then you'll occasionally see a dinosaur tail every now and then, because he brought his dinosaurs out to play. And here we are, I'm grabbing all of my games. This was the only time I didn't leave a box in the room when I was transferring stuff, because there was no way I was going to be able to carry the box. Here he is grabbing the games and trying to help me with them. Because yeah, if I tried to grab the box with all the games in it, it would have snapped and I would have had games land all over my foot and it would have been very painful. I was not having that. So I think that was the only time that would have been the only box I didn't leave in the room. I moved it straight out to the lounge room. So I just grabbed all the games, stacked them up. And then after I had them all stacked up, I moved them out to the lounge room. I don't think I stacked oh no, I did stack them in a particular order. I was about to say I didn't stack them in a particular order, but I did. I went PlayStation, Xbox, and then whatever else was after. And here I am moving all of the shelving out for the bookcase. Fun fact, I've had that bookcase since I was very, very little. And this would be the first time in its lifetime it's not being used. We're actually getting rid of it. For the sole reason that it's bulky. Like, it's not heavy, it's just bulky and there's no use for it. And the shelving on it now is starting to bow way too much. So it's not able to hold anything too heavy anymore. So it's not beneficial anymore. So at this point, I'm starting to try and figure out where to go next because I've cleared out most of the stuff. And it's like, okay, where do I go next? I get rid of all the plushies and I'm just moving out extra stuff. The games and stuff that are sitting on the shelves aren't mine. They're a friend of mine's stuff. I'll move them out later. Now I'm just packing up all of the consoles and stuff because I have to do those. I think I move the camera very soon so you can see the rest of what I'm doing. You'll also find that during some of this where I've blurred out Ronan, the mosaic has changed. Because halfway through editing this, when I've saved it, it's changed. Like, it's not kept the save state. So, I was very frustrated with that. Oh, moving this racing stuff was very fun because I had to make sure all the cords were intact. Because once again, half of this stuff, the racing stuff isn't mine, it's my friend's. And Ronan wanted to try and help climb up on the ladder and help me with stuff. And I was like, no, mate, you can't. He very much likes to help. And then here comes the fun part. Now we do furniture. Ronan very much liked this step. He liked grabbing all of the paper out and the foam. And he wanted to help with that. So a lot of the first parts of this step have to be like heavily blurred out because Ronan moved around way too much for me to mosaic it out properly, unfortunately. Most of it I was able to get done properly. Oh, and he had a little fall here where he jammed his finger. Had a fall, then he jammed his finger, and he was very upset. But other than that, he had a little cuddle and he was pretty good. But he was pretty helpful, and he brought his dinosaurs to come help as well. He likes to go out the back. So where I'm sitting in the room, there's a back door just out the way, and I could see him going out the back. And he didn't go too far, so I could see him. But he didn't go too far. He'd come in, and then he'd come in and help. And roll around on the floor. But what I'm currently building is the TV unit for the TV. Because in the original setup, where the cube shelves are, is where the TV unit used to sit. But that's not where it's going to sit anymore. And as you can see, Ronan's helping me grab all of the what are they called? The rails. And he's also helping me put in all of the wooden dowels. He's a very helpful little child. He's also playing with his dinosaurs at the same time. I'm having to watch him play with his dinosaurs because I think at this point from memory, he was using them to play with the boards. Now, there's a couple of times here where I might have stuffed up, I think, from memory. I also had a couple of phone calls while I was doing this as well. I also had trouble with this piece because you had to do it was a double-sided one where you had to drill both sides. With the, I can't think of what it's called now. That piece that I'm drilling in, obviously. And with the way I had to drill in the first screw, it just wouldn't screw in at all. So I just ended up moving it back one bit. But it really frustrated me because it was like, oh, you got to screw it into this hole in the instructions, and it just wasn't going, which frustrated me. Also, you'll find this piece here, the top piece where my head is resting, I've screwed it on the wrong way, which I've now realized and screwed it on the right way. It's okay to make mistakes, and I do it quite often with these things. But it's coming together quite nicely. And then we do the little, I think they're called like stand pieces, I think. The one thing that frustrated me about putting this piece together actually was the backboard that you just saw me fiddling with. When you get it lined up, it doesn't actually line up 100%. So if you line it up correctly on the left-hand side, it will just not line up correctly on the right-hand side. It will either be lined up correctly on the top half of the right-hand side, but it will be misaligned on the bottom half of the right-hand side. You can't get it correctly on both sides of the right-hand side. But if you get it correctly on both sides of the left-hand side, yeah, it just doesn't work. So if I get it correct on both sides of the right hand side, great. It'll just be misaligned on one side of the left hand side, and it's very frustrating. And it just irked me. I just couldn't. It frustrated me. But it doesn't look it doesn't look terrible. I managed to get it to work at least. And I mean, at least it's the back piece. So, I mean, you're not going to see it, which is the good part of it at least. I've had furniture pieces where I've been doing, for instance, like drawers, where the drawers look worse. And here's Mum coming in to have a fancy look, to see what's going on. These drawers, out of all of the desks and such that I've had to put together, were actually very, very easy to put together. And they weren't as fiddly. I've had desk drawers that I've put together before that are very fiddly. So maybe just TV unit drawers are easy to put together. I don't know. I just found them very easy. And everything was just very uniform and it just went together very well. Here I'm just making sure I check all the instructions. And then this is where I'm going to put on the rails. Nope, you just capture Mum walking in front again. And then I'm gonna start taking that down. So I originally put that up because I was gonna hang my squishmallows over in the corner there, but it just didn't hang very well. And then I had to get rid of a roach trap, which has been in there since I think the old people who were renting this place were here. And then here's me micromanaging it and being like, oh, I want this in a particular way. And now here comes the fun part. So I decided I wanted to measure that exact space because I wanted to put my desk there. Fun part is my desk being a gaming desk, it had, how do I describe it? So my desk has, well, there's a part here where I'm actually under the desk measuring bits and pieces. I had bumper bits on the side of my desk that had lights and stuff on it. Now with those bits on, my desk would have been too long and it wouldn't have fit. So I end up going under the desk again, I think not far from here where I remove it. Pardon me. And I go and remove those bits so that it'll fit. This clip here is after. So now the old desk has been moved to where my gaming desk was. All of the boxes are now in the room and the cube shelves are there. So instead of having the old 2 cube shelves there's a third, the 2 ones that I bought I put on top, and there is some stuff in there. So I've made it as if there's like a divided doorway. The gaming desk fits, the TV unit fits, and it's somewhat of a chaotic mess. So at this point I decided I wanted to have like a backboard sort of thing on the cube shelf units. Mainly because I wanted it to have, like, the gaming room to have its own privacy. So if I have guests over and I'm working, you know, you don't see the guests walking back and forth or whatever. And so, you know, it's just privacy. So, yeah. I also have Mum coming in to have a look and discuss things about the shelving. So yeah, that's what I did. I put these sheets that we had in the house that we weren't going to use, and we used them as privacy curtains, I suppose. Is the best way to explain it. So we do our second one, and I get Mum to come in and help because I'm getting, instead of pinning them in, we're screwing them in for longevity reasons, especially because Rodin likes to run around like a tornado. So pinning them in wouldn't be the safest option. It'd be better to just screw them in. And because I don't want it dangling down, because I want everything in the shelves to be seen, I'm having Mum flip it back up and then we screw it in. There is a part here where I keep dropping the screw and I'm needing Mum to keep giving it to me because apparently I'm very light-fingered and I can't seem to just grab the screw and hold onto it very well. So I'm needing Mum's assistance. After that though, I seem to do quite well and I'm able to continue on and do just that and manage just fine. Now there'll be a couple times here in the next couple clips where you'll see me adjust things, where I'll be like, oh, I like this way, no, and then I readjust. And that's purely because I'm like that with everything. I go, oh, I like it this way, nope, I like this way. And here comes the very fun figurine set of collections. So with the figurines, I actually do fiddle around with them quite a bit. Mainly because I'm like, I like them this way, then I like them that way. And then there's also the fact that in a moment you'll come to find that I actually end up remembering that I have other things that I need to display, and where I have everything, it just won't work. So I end up readjusting everything. But I like things being displayed a certain way, so I like to fiddle with things in a very particular way. But I have all my One Piece stuff displayed first, next to the Tales of stuff. So I have my Tales of Arise bust, and then my Ludger Kresnik figure behind, which I actually need to glue because Ronan broke the other sword. Unfortunately. But here I am just fiddling around, popping them all in and getting them all sorted. I don't think it's, oh no, I do think I get a bit further than this, and then I realize I need to kind of settle in and realize I'm making a mistake. So also where I've got my manga in, next to the fruits basket one, which is at the very top, you'll notice I keep storing stuff. So any of my figures that have little extra bits, so like Kamina, who has a hair piece or whatever, here's where I notice my mistake. That's where I store the little extra figure pieces, so that Ronan can't touch them, because otherwise Ronan will eat them. Yes, this is where I start to notice, okay, this is where I need to shift things, because I want to be able to have the fox lamp and the axolotl lamp visible. So that if I'm doing a late night stream and I want them to be able to be lit up, then that's where I want them to be visible. And this is where I start moving. So since this has been recorded, I've actually, you'll see later on in the video from this point, but from when this was recorded to the last section in the video, that's like the final showcase of the room. Some of the figures and some of the plushies have changed from where they've been positioned last, and that's because I had a whirlwind called Ronan come and change everything. Out of all of the Squishmallows I have, I think the one I had the most trouble with would be here, which was with Gengar. I couldn't get Gengar to sit. Gengar just wouldn't sit properly, so I decided to put Gengar where the box bit was. My original decision here was going to pin Chopper up, and then I just sort of gave up with it. And then I think I just decided to stick Chopper and Beepo. There you go, you can see these ones. I decided to stick Chopper and Beepo in where they could prop things up, so that not only they could prop things up, but the other things could prop them up. I also decided to put my Horizon Forbidden West box in a container down in the shed with all the other empty boxes that just weren't going to be staying inside, because I ended up finding, as you will come to find later, so I found that I still had this candle, which had been given to me by my best friend, which is a candle of Luffy's Devil Fruit. I also found in the corner down there next to Beepo and Chopper a Fairy Tale keys, like Lucy's Celestial Keys box that my brother gave me years ago for my birthday, and I'd completely forgotten about it. But I also found that a while ago I had bought a couple of Funko Pops of Luffy, and my friend bought me the Summoned Skull, and I also got Gandalf versus Balrog. I'd forgotten about the I can't the Funko Pops. I also had Inosuke over there, all fallen over, but I forgot that I had these guys, and so I decided to put my Horizon Forbidden West box down into a box to go down in the shed. But this is the final sort of showcase of what is on my cube shelves. I also have a sort of like limited, not like a limited edition, like one of those full panel Funko Pops of Sora. I'd seen it at my local EB and I'd been wanting it for a while, and I was like, yes, please. Now you'll probably notice that on my anime shelf or shelves, I don't have all my anime there. It'll probably be the same for my DVDs. And that is because me and my friend have been binge watching a lot of stuff at the minute. So that's why they're not all there. But this is the current progress of my shelving for the minute. So I have all my games and everything there, all my figures, everything's all over there. And this is on the right hand shelf. So this is the one that is behind my desk. So this is everything I have to show on behind me. And then this is the one that is on the left hand side. So at this point I also have a curtain up behind like in between the two shelves now, and these are the Squishmallows. I also have two little cardboard dinosaurs that I have now as well. I'd done them in between shoots, and I've changed where what's going on. I've changed in between where Beepo and everything is, but this is where all the magic happens now.